Hi everybody, I'm back again. You'll notice that we've moved because I need a spot to do some rotary cutting. I can't do that on the pressing station. We will be using the Leaves Galore template by Sue Pellin Designs. There are 3 sizes. This is petite, this is norm, and this is grande for a very good reason. What they do is 2 different size leaves or petals or vines or whatever it is that you're doing, okay? Generally, it is, this one is 4, this one is 8. So this one up here is twice as big. The Grande, as I said, does 4 and 8 inch. The Norm does 3 and 6 inch. And the Petite does 2.5 and 5.
Can I bring that up here?
Yes, you may. You may see some stickers on there. The grippies, I call them. Very, very technical, grippies. That is to keep your tool from sliding on your stuff. And you will notice, see if I can, you will notice that they're not huge, but they are strategically placed. And on these tools, you put them on the bottom and the top because there will be times that you need to flip your tool over. So we have True Grips that you can purchase, and then you will put them on here. I will tell you that these look like leaves. So that's why I put this kind on these, because they're on Leaves Galore. Okay, there are other ones too, but these work the best because they give you enough grip without getting in your way. They're see-through, so they don't stop you from seeing the lines. Okay, so we are going to work today. These are the 3 Leaves Galore. She has other templates, but we didn't want to cover everything. So we're just concentrating on Leaves Galore. And as I said, yes, it does leaves, but leaves can also be flower petals. And this is a good example of that. This is all done with Leaves Galore. Even the vine and the stems are done with Leaves Galore. And it makes tulips, it makes petals, and it makes actual leaves. Depends on what fabrics you use. So this entire block was done with Leaves Galore. Okay, I love that block. I'm a sunflower. The circle I did on my own. Okay, I just cut a circle. All right, I am using a mat. I happen to have a mat that is blank for this purpose so that you don't get confused by the lines and the camera doesn't try to focus on the lines instead of the tool. So you're going to want a mat, and you're going to want your pieces of fabric that have been pre-fused. Okay, this is one that I had in my tote full of fused fabric.
And what is that pre-fused with?
Misty Fuse. So if you haven't seen that video, it's awesome. And of course, we can always explain to you how to do it. Misty Fuse is my all-time favorite because I'm a novice appliquer, let's say. And because Misty Fuse convinced me that, you know, there is life in applique. So I am going to lay my piece down, and I am going to use Leaves Galore. Now, you will notice my piece is shorter than my tool because I'm going to be moving my tool up. And if I had a piece the same size, there'd be a chunk that didn't get cut. That's a waste. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the 2.5 size. If you were doing a different size or a different tool, you would do a different size piece. But because I'm doing 2.5, this is the size that I have, which I can't remember how big it is. I am going to lay my tool down. And what the idea is that you are going to cut these 4 leaves at a time. This probably wasn't the greatest fabric to use because it might be hard to see. But I am moving this tool right up to the edge. See, there's a leaf, there's a leaf, there's a leaf, there's a leaf. I got a partial one down here, but that's not the end of the world. And I'll tell you why. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a 28 millimeter cutter. You need it to go around these curves. 45s don't work. They work, but you're going to have nicks out of your tool, and your leaves are going to have bumpy edges. We don't want bumpy edges. So you are going to have, and not the ergonomic. I don't even know if they make a 28 ergonomic because it's so little, but don't get one if they do. You want a straight one. You are going to have your table at this height. Okay, you can't use our awesome cutting tables that are up here. You need to be over the top of your tool to make the curves. Okay, you're going to open it. You're going to hold it with your finger on the end. I just slid my fabric, all right, back because I want it right up to the edge. You are going to hold it with your finger and hold your tool down with your hand. You're going to start down here, and you're going to go around and sway your whole body. Sue calls it the Sue sway, so that you are getting right in there. Now, you don't have leaves yet. Okay, it's a 2-cut process. As I said, I'm going to move this so you can see something, but you don't normally do this. See, that's where I cut. Not very well, but that's where I cut. Hang on. Let me get that. There. I knew I didn't sway correctly. That's where I cut. I'm going to put it back. And then I'm going to move my tool up so that it matches, even this piece is a little bit long. It matches where I cut before on this leaf. And then I pull it away just enough to show how it matches. Let me take that away. See? And now we have a fire truck going by, of course. So, there, I'm good. So now I'm good. Oh, it's never a dull moment around here. Here we go. All right, I want it tight, so all my leaves are the same. I'm going to start again down here. And again, this fabric was a little long, but I can make it work. And I'm moving my hand up, and I'm swaying. And there we go. And now I can pull that away, and look at those leaves.
Look at that.
Look how easy that was. Now you're saying, but you got this funky one down here. You know what that's good for? That is good for, and I made these earlier. Oh, actually, I don't need that one. Let's do these, guys. If I were doing a flower and I wanted it to look like there was a petal underneath, you can put those in there because they're smaller. Let me show you with red ones. And this could be kind of sort of a tulip with a really weird middle petal. There. That shows up better. So keep those pieces. Keep those pieces because you might use them at a later date. I have all kinds of containers. Now, the cool thing is I have this cute little scallop thing. I have this. Most of you would think that's no good. I'm going to keep it because I may end up putting it on like a border or something like that. It's very tiny. But I don't want to waste fabric. Now what I do is I go back to my original lineup. And what you should end up doing is in this arc, you should have the center. And there are all kinds of lines on here. If we had more time, I would explain to you all that, but I can do that one-on-one if you like. I'm putting the A right in the middle of my arc, here and here. And what that's going to ensure is that A, it's in the right place, and B, I'm getting the most out of my fabric. And then I'm going to go through the process again. Let me go through this real quick because I want to show you what we end up with. I'm walking my hand up the tool, and you can hear it clicking every once in a while. Now, I'm going to move my tool up, and this time, not only do I have the lines to follow, I also can put the A in the middle of this arc. Okay? So let me make sure I've got my lines right. Yep. There you go. Oops. That's the only problem is the fabric likes to slide. Where were you? You were way up there because I'm trying to save fabric. This one. And move you down a little, push you in, and I'm ready. And oh, the other thing is you can do more than one layer.
I was going to ask that.
Yep, you could do, I would say because you're dealing with a 28, I would say you could do up to 4 layers. That means, let's go 3. That means you can make 12 at a time. 12 leaves at a time. Look at this. Isn't this cute? That would be cute. I didn't do it well. I'm sorry, Sue. But that is really cute. I don't know what I'd use it for. But here's some more. And again, I have one of these, so I'm going to keep it because I might need it at a later date. But I've got, just in those 2 cuts, I've got 8 leaves. So I could make an adorable little flower. This is usually what I use for leaves, not flowers. But hey, there's green flowers out there. Put that there. Put that there. And then, of course, those of you who are applique artists know that you might trim some of these down a little before, so you don't get that big lump right there. But you've got to, I could put one more in there. There we go. So that's a horrible arrangement. But that's the idea of Sue Pellin's Rotary Cut Applique. And again, you can do lots of shapes, not just petals or leaves. There are circles, there are hearts, there are vines. You can make this a vine. You cut it out.
Sorry, I wasn't focused on the tool. Can you show that again?
All right. So on this side, it could be a vine. So you could put it down, cut once, move it this way, as thick as you want your vine, cut again, and you've got a vine. And you can applique that on. So the other thing these can be used for is for quilting your block. Like Frixion pen.
Oh, yeah.
And
Marking
then
the block.
follow the lines and then pressing it and your lines are gone. Or if you want a bigger one, do this. Or if you need a bigger vine, or if you just want a curved vine, you would just do the inside or the outside, whichever way it needs to curve. So these are amazing tools, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy them as much as I do. And as always, you can always ask questions. We love to help you out. Okay. I believe I've covered everything I wanted to, though I'm sure as soon as I shut this off, I'll think of something. But thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.